Well, for us small business people, the government have announced that they're going to do an inquiry into the banks. So, look, I've always worried about the banks, and so have probably you. So we've got Dave Saunders here from RO Advisors, and he's going to give us some bit of a wisdom here. Now, Dave, the first thing that comes to mind here, are they likely, the Commerce Commission, likely to find any fault with our banks?
It's a really good question, Max. I hope they will, because I got to say we pay a lot
Well,
to
do
our
you
banks.
see any problems?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I think back. I've been in business for quite a while now. The first business I had was a much smaller scale than what I have now. Yet I knew everyone in the branch. I picked up the phone, I called someone, I got an answer, and it was easy for me to get a loan, despite having nothing to my name.
So you're saying that's deteriorated?
Yeah, absolutely. And the banks will say part of this is regulation, but a lot of it's the bank's policy as well. And to be fair, the banks are doing very, very, very well financially at the moment. So why would they change?
Well, how can you prove that they're doing very well?
So we'll start with some high level numbers. Let's talk about what they generate per quarter in interest, right? So this is a quarter. Up until the end of March, the New Zealand banks brought in about $8.5 billion with a B in interest payments. $8.5 billion. Now they have to pay for that money. Essentially, they buy money and on sell it. It cost them in rough numbers a bit over $5 billion. Yeah, so they're doing okay. They got some expenses, but it ain't $3 billion's worth a quarter.
No way.
Yep. So that's one measure. Another one that often gets pointed to is return on equity. And return on equity is essentially, is for me as a shareholder, if I put $1 in, what do I get back? So one of the New Zealand banks has a return on equity of about 15.25%, somewhere around there. Its Australian parent has a return of a bit over 12%. So we're talking a difference that's pretty significant. It's 12 and a bit percent versus 15.5%.
So, Dave, what you're saying to me here is that we're dominated by Australian banks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got very few Kiwi banks.
Yeah.
So the other factor is that you've just said that they probably giving us a harder time, like sucking more juice out of ours than they are the Australians.
Look, based on these couple of numbers, it would seem that the banks are doing exceptionally well in New Zealand.
One thing I reckon the Commerce Commission should focus on.
Absolutely. And look, another thing that I think is a really big one is the banks seem to be taking two bites out of the cherry when I look at the likes of the payway fees. Yeah, so we've got to pay for using the payway fees, but there's tons and tons of research that says the more frictionless a payment is, the more likely people will spend up hard, the more likely they will tick stuff up on their credit card. So the banks are winning both on the payway fees and on the extra interest and credit card fees that they're charging us. So the banks in New Zealand are doing pretty well.
We're in the wrong business, Dave.
We are. What are we doing working like suckers? We've got to start a bank.
Right, folks, let's change the show and we're going to start a bank. But, I mean, honestly, it's really tough on us small business people who seem to be, everyone's taking advantage of us. So thanks, David, and we'll see you next week for some more interesting facts.
Till next time.